All right, guys. Good morning. How is everyone doing today? Norm, how's it
Good
going?
morning, Carlos. I'm doing all right. I sat down 5 minutes ago after dropping my son off from school, and I thought, what the hell? Is it a holiday? And I didn't know it.
Well, it's okay because today we're actually, well, first of all, good morning, guys. Welcome to a pre-market show. And we're happy to have you here today. Hope you're having a good morning and also hope you had a great trading day yesterday. It's okay. Today we're going to talk about how to be happy in life and how to keep your significant other happy in life. So we'll talk about that because our gappers list looks pretty light today. So it doesn't seem like there's much going on
Okay.
there.
All right.
All right, guys.
So,
So
Bob Roth, we're going
yes,
to paint some happy little trees.
absolutely. All right, guys. So
Okay.
as usual, we're going to start over here with our watch list from yesterday. See what traded well, how things have reacted here. We do have our main list was up here. These were some two possible, so we'll check in to see how those did as well. So and then we'll go over to our it's just Roku disappeared. So we'll go back and find Roku, see what's going on there. And then we'll check out whatever's in the NASDAQ active NASDAQ gainers. And then we will definitely can use your help today if you have anything that looks exciting with some good volume. Maybe the ATR is not high enough to hit these scanners here, or maybe it has some good news that we might want to look into as well. So definitely look out for those tickers. After we do those two, you can start sending those over and we'll start looking at them. All right, and then as usual, we'll get into some news, which seems not a lot going on here this morning so far, but then we'll get into our some announcements with Norm as well. So let's start over here with ACAD. So ACAD, guys, very active, beautiful pre-market activity, guys. We know this one was popping up pretty nice, very active here. And at the open, we got just that, tons of volume right off the bat. You get this huge spike up and then this beautiful engulfing pattern here. Several ways to trade. If you're looking for a quick opening range breakup on the 2 minute, off the 2 minute, you got a nice little pullback here. That was great. You could have taken this up. Again, these are big moves. It might seem small, but from here, you're looking at 42.50, guys, the level we had in our chart, and then all the way up to 44. That's almost $1.50 move. So again, that's a very, very big move in a stock that's trading at 42 bucks. Again, always think about how much can you risk opposed to how much can you make. If you always think about how much can you make, you're gonna load up the boat. And a situation where you do lose is gonna hurt. It's gonna be very painful. So always think about how much can you afford to risk, opposed on how much can you make. So here, beautiful opening range breakup towards the top if you're doing a 2 minute, and then look at this beautiful engulfing crack. We talk about this in class 4. You can see here beautiful reversal indicator, and you can see two ways to take this. A lot of people take it when it loses VWAP on the 5. Others wait for a pullback. You did not get a pullback on the next 5 minute candle. You got one, a little one after, so you have to be a little bit patient. You don't want this coming back to your VWAP and putting you in a tough situation. So a beautiful drop continues nicely here, tests this moving average, and it just really just dumps. I mean, this thing goes, guys, we're looking at 41 all the way down to 36.50. Now let's say you might have taken everything out the previous day close. That would have been a good move, especially after this type of pullback here, but that's still an amazing move. So hopefully you guys capitalize on that ACAD. AMD, same situation, but a little bit different here. So you have a nice pop, and then it goes on this consolidation period almost for an hour, actually 30 minutes or so. And we've seen this quite a bit from MU and AMD. They go on this morning, they get stuck in this range, and then out of nowhere you get this beautiful drop here, heading all the way down. I'm not sure if the SPY, that's when the SPY sold off. I got to check the exact timing of the SPY, but again, it's just a beautiful drop leaving VWAP. Here's your opening range on the 5, and we talk about how this opening range can happen up to an hour when we talk about it in our class 4. So up to an hour, you could be looking for this opening range on the 5 and the 15, 30, and 60-minute chart, and you can see here, yeah, beautiful drop here on the 30-minute chart happens, and you can see this nice little drop all the way down towards these levels. Roku was also very nice, another pop, and look at this, also another indication of engulfing crack here. So you get this engulfing pattern, indication that the change in direction might be happening. So after this happens, you can see here you get a pullback and some consolidation right between these two candles, which is this area here, and then it loses the opening range, right? So it loses it here on this candle, and then you can see a beautiful drop all the way to the bottom as well. So that was Roku yesterday, and it just kept going, comes back, tests VWAP. It cannot establish a trend above VWAP. Usually as an indication that we're heading right back down. You can see here how beautiful that drops again after testing VWAP. Pace was probably one of the worst stocks yesterday that we had on our watch. This thing was brutal. It started to get going around 8:30 on some news that broke out, but then look at this open. No volume came in. You had the first candle with volume, and the rest just got nasty. So nothing to watch here. I remember in the chat room, a lot of members were looking for a reversal on this one here. And look at this fake out, right? This clearly looks like it's going to reverse. And then out of nowhere, you get this massive drop right back down to 968, a level we had, and lower. T was one that traded actually pretty well after the open, not right away. So at the open, you could see how it was a bit choppy in this area. Finally, at least broke this range, or at least started going to a trend trade after this 9 EMA, testing it several times, just writing it down nicely. But at the open was just very choppy, guys. Not at what we expected after having such a great pre-market open. This pre-market activity was very exciting, had a lot of volume, a huge range. We're going from 36.50 approximately to 39. So again, a nice range here, but at the open just really crapped out, didn't do much. Have volume, 8 million shares traded just in this 1 5-minute candle, but again, not a lot to really trade on. Apple was nice, guys. I took Apple off and I added Docu because Apple just didn't seem like it has a lot going, but it actually traded okay. You can see this beautiful pop here towards these levels, comes back, tests this VWAP, cannot establish anything below the VWAP, and it gets right above it for this beautiful entry here. And then this is a clean double top, guys. Look at this. Later in the mid morning, you have this beautiful double top. I think also Peter sent me a copy of this. He traded this nicely as well. You can see how beautiful that double top is on Apple. Here's Docu. So Docu, I added this one on my list because a lot of us had it. So you can see the beautiful pop here. Look how it hits this level, 57.97. We had that off our weekly chart. We went back almost a couple of years, and look how it hits it right on the dot. Not 58, not 59, not 58, 98. It's just that exact number. So it's just crazy. Again, consolidates, cannot break above it. Comes back, tests this prior resistance, and then it takes off for another run. So again, that was Docu. The activity though was a little wild. You had to be careful with it, but definitely had a nice little pop here. And then Netflix, I didn't really watch the action on Netflix, so I'm not sure how the actual price action was, but it looks like they had some activity right before the open, and then they kind of popped up here. But again, didn't see what the action looked like on that one. So that is what we had yesterday, guys. Let's look over some news. Norm, what do we have going on today? And then we'll get into our gappers.
Oh man, not a whole lot. SPY's down 0.2%. I think we're kind of just waiting here as SPY approached and tested 300 to try to get through, kind of pulled back a little bit. I think we're waiting on some pieces of news with number one, China, and coming to negotiate trade stuff next month. We've got the Fed meeting next week, and they'll have an announcement on Wednesday for the overnight rate, and which most people are expecting a 1/4 point, maybe more, reduction in that to try and keep growth on the move. And then, today there's really not a whole lot of economic data. There's a couple little pieces coming out at 10 a.m., but nothing that would usually do a whole lot to the market. So that's kind of where we're sitting. I got a few things on my list, and this QFIN is a block trade that showed up. So it's a pretty empty list, but we'll see.
Yeah, no, it's definitely looking on the lighter side today. Here we have, huge block trade on QFIN, so not much going on there, guys. And for those that don't know, block trades, when you get this one transaction that's pretty high in the number of shares. So if you look at your time in sales, you can see here at 938, 850,000 shares traded on this one pop here. So that's causing it to gap down 6.1 and causing it to pop up into our scanners, but not really anything tradable there. All right, so let's... so that's the gappers list. Let's go over. Go ahead.
I've got a few to throw out for you.
Sure.
If you want to try these, and they're not coming up in gappers for various reasons, but so ACAD continuation play from yesterday.
Yeah.
It's not doing a whole lot right now, but I anticipate it'll be in play today. And then we've got WIN, WEN. They reported earnings. I believe their ATR is keeping it off the list.
You said WEN?
Ford. Yep, that's it right there. Wendy's. F, Foxtrot. MNK. Now I'm going to throw out a couple here that I would not usually ever mention, but since we don't have anything up there, might as well.
Yeah.
This one is not a low float, but it is a very risky play with a very high short interest. I can't remember the last time I ever traded a $2.38 stock, but it might be interesting to watch to see if there's a short squeeze on this. This is a drug manufacturer out of the UK. It is wrapped up in the opioid issues problems, so that's something to keep an eye on. GME, GameStop reports tonight. They're getting a little active this morning. They've got high short interest. I think there might be some covering in that ahead of the earnings release, just in case it's good. I think some people might be going ahead and sticking their profits in their pocket and going home. Fran, F-R-A-N, reported, and they are up 84% on really heavy volume.
Nice.
So,
why is Fran ATR related? That's not oh yeah, 35.
Yeah, it's an ATR.
Yeah, it's probably the most active this morning. Definitely worth having on our list. Excellent, man. We got any other ones? We'll take them all.
Fran is a low float. When I said Fran isn't usually something I would trade. It's only 2.88 million shares float. I was saying MNK is not a short float.
Yeah, correct. All right, so we'll definitely throw a friend here for the low float team. That looks very, very active this morning. But again, guys, 2.8 million shares flow. So you got to touch this from afar with a very long stick. All right, be very careful. Take a very small number of shares if you're trading this. Just really manage your risk. That's the most important thing when it comes to day trading. All right, so that is what we have, guys. A lot of you guys have been mentioning some of these as well, so that's good. Let's go over to our NASDAQ active, NASDAQ gainers, and see what we can pull off for that. And then we'll get into some announcements. So AVAO on here, penny stock, guys. Usually anything under $1 is not really really tradable, or at least not anything we want to trade based on the way we focus. IGIB is looks like just a block trade, 2.5. Wow, that's probably one of the biggest block trades I've seen in a while. 2.6 million shares traded on this block trade here on this one, so that's causing a lot of activity to come up, but not really anything good. FCEL always on this list. Penny stock, not really anything we want to focus on. FRNA, it's the low flow of the day for sure. 1.3 million shares traded, so you got a lot of activity, looking very good in this pre-market. What are we hitting here? 950. Yeah, so we're getting close to an area. If anybody's trading this pre-market, look out for this area here. And also just be aware that you have a lot of several green candles. So there could be some profit takers. Anybody sitting here around 640, be careful with this.
So I just want to throw out, yesterday somebody in the room asked about what a short squeeze was.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they are still here, but that's exactly what's going on with Fran. So Fran has a, like we said, it's a low float with 2.8 million shares in the float. So there's a limited supply. It's got a 44% short float, which means of the 2.8 million shares, 48% of them are held short. They reported earnings last night that were better than expected. And so you start to get a little pop, a little volume, and you can just see it start to cascade up as more shorts have to cover at higher and higher prices. And there's more of a demand put on it because of that. And it's just a chain reaction that'll send it higher. Who knows how long it'll last? It could collapse back down very quickly, but that's what's going on there.
Yeah, and it reminds me of BPTH. That's how a lot of that stuff just goes out of control and hits these crazy numbers. So got to be really, really careful with that. All right, guys. So that is what we have there. So next one here, QIFN block trade. As we mentioned earlier, we got a huge block trade here, 850,000. Next, we have the volatility index TVIX. Slightly up today, so the SPY's down a bit, so slightly up 3.5, getting a little active right now. NASDAQ ETF. Yeah. Any news coming out this morning? Or yeah, because it seems
I'm looking. I'm not seeing anything. Could be a tweet. Could be who knows what. So I'm looking to see if I can find anything.
Gotcha. Let us know if you do. Eric is always on here, but again, just a horrible daily chart. Doesn't trade very well. Again, just has a lot of volume almost every morning. Here, you probably have some block trades as well, because I don't see anything yet. You do. You have some huge trades in here. Next, we have NASDAQ, another NASDAQ ETF, another one here as well. We'll skip those. But here at number 11, I'm just going to look at that one. We have AMD. So let's see what AMD is up to. Not much today, very low volume. We also have WEN, which we have, as Norm mentioned, and then Roku. I'm going to look at Roku. I'm going down all the way to 14, 15 here. So let's look at what Roku is up to. Wow, big sell-off yesterday. They did not actually bounce, so I think Roku is taking a break from an extended push here towards the top. Over what was the high of all time here? We're looking at 177, roughly 176 in that area. So that's the all-time high. And you got a nice sell-off down here, kind of hanging around this at this moving average at the moment. You know, Roku is definitely worth to watch today. Again, I would not count this stock down. You got to be very careful. It could be a lot of people taking profits, and someone might figure that this could be a good way to get a good entry to get in and head higher. So just be careful. No buys.
Yeah. So there's no news on Roku, especially, and I think I think what prompted this was a bearish analyst that's had a stock price at $63 finally capitulated and raised his target to 160. And a lot of times people see that as like the last holdout giving out as a top. And so I think that might have been what prompted yesterday's sell-off.
Gotcha. So he went from 60 to 160. I think you mentioned this in the chat room yesterday, a little late.
Yeah.
But okay. Yep. With that type of results, I mentioned in the chat room too, we can all be analysts with that type of predictions. All right, guys. So
yeah, like 6 months after the fact.
Exactly. Let's see what we got here. So, Fran, on NASDAQ gainers, we have SPI, penny stock, and it's trading horrible here in the daily. I've seen this one before. It doesn't trade very clean. ASPU, also no activity. Nothing happened here. MESO, also horrible. Works, not work, but works. WORX, also no activity, no volume. WTER, this one is also has an okay daily chart, but again, just the activity very low at 56,000. Could get going, but again, I'm not seeing anything great at the moment. PEC, PECK, no activity, no volume. MYOS, also no volume, only 1,400 shares traded. CLNE, also very nasty here, nothing happening on this one. And the last one on this NASDAQ gainers is OEMR. I think we traded this one before, or at least looked at it. Sounds familiar, but maybe not. So I'm not sure what's going on with this one, guys, but again, no activity or no volume on that one neither. All right, guys, let's see what you guys have on your end. Maybe anything that we have not looked at over here. So if you're joining us for the first time, if this ticker is on here, we're going to go over it again with a fine-tooth comb and just kind of find some level support and resistance, and then we'll pick out which ones we like the best. But if you have anything that we haven't mentioned with some good volume, or not volume, some good potential at this point, because it's not a lot with volume, as you can see here on our gappers list this morning, we will gladly take a look at it. So we have CTRP. Let's take a look at that. CTRP. This one here, light on the volume. I can see this has a good range this morning. Has dropped already down to 31 up to 34. So not sure what's any news on this one. Front. So any news on that one? I'm not sure.
You're not going to get anything out of me.
Yeah. Yeah. So SQ, what do we have on SQ? Yeah, SQ, we can look at the SQs, the JDs. I mean, these are all going to depend on the news, really. I expect they're all going to be slightly down because the SPY is down. How much is the SPY down today? Yeah, it's slightly down, not by a lot. But I think a lot of these are going to be flat today. The AMDs of the world, the MUs. No, we didn't look at your top 4 to see what NVIDIA is doing. Yeah, same situation. It's slightly down. Facebook. Same thing. Roku, we looked at missing one. Apple
definitely being played today. They have their Apple event midday.
That's right. Yeah, let's add that on there. And they also were very active yesterday. Look at this range. They came all the way down to 210, all the way up to 216. So they traded very well yesterday. Definitely worth taking a look at that. Blake, so QFIN, what we mentioned that is a block trade that's causing that. So huge block trade there. That's what's causing that to pop up. CTRP. CTRP.
CTRP had earnings last night. I forgot it when you first called it up because I don't really pay attention to CTRP that much, but they had earnings yesterday.
Gotcha. So we'll throw it on here. CTRP, we'll see what we can get out of that. Right now, activity is very low, less than 60,000 shares traded, but I think everything's looking very low this morning. Next, we have HDS. HDS at the moment, really low volume, guys. I do like that it's popping up here. Looks like it's sold off, but again, just no activity. So this is scary. Doesn't mean it might not stay like that, but it might get better. It might be able to give us a good opportunity. But right now, not looking pretty good. MIK we have traded in the past. Oh, it's had a good day yesterday. That's nice. So this one we have at least looked at in the past. I don't recall actually trading it, but I do like the dailies kind of at this area of prior resistance. 1, 2, several days testing that, and then going down this huge drop. Nice support here at 5, and look at this squeeze all the way back up to 915. So
Yeah, that's another example of a big short squeeze there.
yeah, that's that. So that's a very big move. I mean, it took a couple of weeks to lose this here, gained it back in a couple of days. So again, just tells you how if you get into one of these nice squeezes, this thing can really shoot up as fast as they go down. So this one is interesting, guys. No volume at the moment. Daily chart does look great. Looks interesting. You got a nice little pop here. You could probably get a continuation of a great day yesterday, but not sure what we'll get this morning. HTC, this one we have traded quite a bit. When this thing is in play, it trades very, very well. We have caught some really good move off HTZ Hertz, but today really no volume at the moment. All right, we have TLWO continuation plays. Let's see. So TLWLO. Yeah, nice big red day. Yes, it looks like it lost its support of 25. This thing was tested several times on here. Comes right back down. You have this day where it tries to hold. The next day it just cannot, and it just dumps. So this is a nice big drop here. Wow, and that 125. This daily is nice. Look at this 125. I'm shocked we missed this. Yes, we did not have this on our list, but look at this this drop here. It's nice. Heads down right to the next level of support, which is around this area here. Yeah, but right now this could be a good one for continuation. It's just the volume, right? That's the thing we're running into today. There's a lot of stuff that looks like a good possible, but the volume is not there, and it's gonna be one of those days that today you might not watch the right stock out of your 6, 4, 10, whatever you watch. You might not have the right one on your list that actually gets going. So just eyes on the scanners and be very patient, not to rush anything. All right, let's run through a few more, then we'll get into announcements. AYX, again, same situation, guys. We're gonna have a lot of these. A big red day yesterday, could be a continuation, so that's a good one also. Lulu's not doing much right now. That's an interesting daily on Lulu. Pops up and then sold off yesterday pretty bad, right back down.
It engulfed the hell out of that daily,
yeah. And this is an all-time high too. So I mean, that's a very big drop there. That could be interesting too for continuation. You're sitting right at the last area of resistance. So again, right on there with the previous day close. So that could be interesting as well. I will definitely be looking for that in our scanners. All right, so the last row we're gonna do DOCU. DOCU could be a good continuation play. Had 2 great days yesterday, gapped up, did hold. Now it can do something today. We get some volume. SKZ, SKX, sorry. XKX is another continuation play, very light on the volume as well. ZUMZ, too many U's in there. Here we go. All right, same situation, guys. Again, just not a lot of activity. So, all right, excellent. Let's take a look at what we have on announcements, and then we're gonna run into some of these levels that we have here. Oh, hold on, came on the wrong monitor. Let's bring it up right over here. Here we go.
All right. So the Mike Belfiore SMB Capital interview is released on YouTube. We've had a lot of great feedback. So if you haven't had a chance to check that out, be sure to do so. DAS's #1 best trader competition is going on right now. You can go to onebesttrader.com, check that out. We've got a leaderboard that is their leaderboard is awesome. It live updates everything, shows trades of everybody in the competition. We're well represented with BBT there, so go take a peek when you get a chance. Bearable Traders is honored to have been nominated for the Benzinga FinTech Awards in the Best Financial Literacy Tool category. You can, if you enjoy our content, we would love to have your vote. You can vote one time per day per device. Amy will throw up those links. It takes about 2 minutes. 2 seconds. Sorry. It's literally click done, not 2 minutes, 2 seconds, if that. Meetups, we've got several coming up. We've got New York with Dr. Steenbarger a week from this Saturday. It is free, but you do have to register and get a ticket. We have to have a head count, so And we've had a couple of people that originally said they were going and had something come up, and we are very appreciative if you let us know you won't be able to attend, just so we can free up that spot, because we might have to shut registration down. Be sure, if you have not registered, you're considering it, to do so as soon as you can. Much appreciated. New Bear Bowl Buzz came out over the weekend. New iteration of it, tweaked it a little bit. So take a look, and we would love your feedback and thoughts on that. And if you're watching us live on YouTube, you have not tried out the chat room, you can do so with the pre-market pre-market 24 code. Get a discount. It does not auto renew. It's 1 week to try out the room. And if you have not already, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and you will be notified anytime we release, like the Mike Bellafiore video or any of the free live stream content we put out, like the pre-market show with Carlos and I, Williams trade reviews and such. You will be notified when we go live. So, and one other thing, Carlos, this Thursday, you have a lifetime webinar, correct?
Yes, Robert and I. That's correct.
Robert and Carlos lifetime webinar. There should be a link up top in the chat room in the alert section if you're a lifetime member to go in and post your questions for Robert and Carlos Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. Also, to wrap up, Bear Bull Traders, we are proud to be supporting Traders for a Cause. It is a great charity that helps out a lot of different charities. They have a big event coming up October 12th. It's in Las Vegas. It's a 2-day conference with some really great, well-known traders and such. And then there's some other social stuff beforehand, a big VIP party Thursday, golf Friday. And if you're interested in going to that, you can use the promo code BearBullVIP and get $250 off per ticket. So, and all of the proceeds from that go to charity. Anyway, that is what I got today.
All right, so let's get to it. So here we have a bit of stocks that some are not looking all that great, some don't have great volume. We're going to go through them and do our best to get some support and resistance levels. So let's start with ACAD. So ACAD, possible continuation play today, had a very active day yesterday, sold off for the most part after a pop. Let's get some of these levels. Actually, some of these levels are still good. So we still have 37.78. That's good. I'm going to mark down the high of the pre-market today here at 39.87. So we'll put that down there. All right. Then other than that, I think you have the rest of the levels from yesterday, 42.50. Now you have a nice level here at 44, which is your high from yesterday, and 47.11 still in play. This 37.78 was also from the weekly going back, and you saw how in the daily chart how that traded, in the intraday how that traded very well off that 37.78. Then now you have your low of the of yesterday also here around 36.50. So plenty of levels on ACAD, basically what we had yesterday. This could be a good continuation from yesterday. Again, not great volume or good activity right now, but hopefully this can get going one way or the other. WNE, guys, we have here our high of our pre-market sitting at 20.70, low of the pre-market sitting at around 19.70, so we'll mark that down. Let's go back and see what we have on our day. So we have a nice drop here, down 6.6, does have the volume. It's starting to get a good pre-market activity. So actually, out of all the ones today, this one looks like a really good one to trade, to have on your list. Towards the top, I do want something in between here, right? This is very far. This is a very big drop, so you got to have some levels in between. I do like the fact that we have a very nice clean moving average at 21.15, another one right slightly above at 21.66, and also is almost around the areas where these dailies are consolidating. So you have a pop here, comes right back down to it. You get a test here on resistance towards the top, support towards the top. You got 2 days on resistance, which is very close at 21.68, plus the moving average right on there, so that makes it even more interesting, that 21.68. Towards the bottom, also even in the intraday, you do have an area here where you see some support and resistance right around 20.14, so I'm going to mark that down just in case. Again, you do have several days testing that as support and resistance, so it's worth marking it down. If we head back down and lose this 1971, which could happen on the daily here, you have 3 or 4 days testing this 1942. That can be an area that we can mark down here. You can see several days, 1, 2, at least 3 or 4 testing that 1942. Then the next big drop will be hopefully this one here if we can get our hands on this short 1872. So that is Wendy's WEN. Again, has a good pre-market activity right now compared to everything else we're seeing. This thing has some volume. It is down 6%, and it does have some news, so it's definitely worth having on our list. Ford also has got some news as well, as Norm mentioned. Let's get rid of some of these levels here. Our low of our pre-market sitting at 910. The high of the pre-market sitting at 928, so we'll mark that down. Daily chart looks, oh man, daily chart's all over the place a little bit here, so hard to find these levels, but I know clearly this is going to be a level, so we'll mark this down. Let's start from where we can see some clear support and resistance. And in this mess here, I'm going to say probably this one, 893, and I'll draw a blue line so you can see a little closer. You have several days banging their heads on here, and then also you got some support being created of this 893. Then towards the top, guys, you got plenty. I'm not going to add any more highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. Previous day close in here as well. So, and you also got a lot of moving averages coming up between that around that 920 was the low of 2 days ago. You can see several moving averages on here. So again, I'm not going to add any more on Ford here. So it does have some good volume, 567. Ford does not move a lot, but they do have some news today, so it could be worth having on our watch list. MNK is one that, again, it can trade very well. It's not a low float. Actually, MNK is it's an 82 million shares float, so it is not that risky, but it is a lower price, so you do have to still be careful with the number of shares you take. Towards the top, we do have the high of the pre-market at 945. We got some activity happening right now, as you can see, with some good volume. We do have another level at 272 of this day here. You can see the resistance. Then towards the top, I'm going to mark down, this is a clear level here of this bounce, right? Clear bounce 388. And then right on here, I don't see anything too clean on this drop here. I don't see anything where I could see a good daily level. But, you know, we can put down 310. Let's put down 310 off these 2 days on here. And then you also got a moving average at 350, so be on the lookout for that. But that's what we have on MNK. Towards the bottom, plenty of levels, guys. The last highs, the 2 last trading days highs and lows, previous day close. So again, no need to add any more towards that. Good volume right now, 1 million shares traded. Pre-market activity not as clean, but it does have some good volume. So hopefully we can get that going today. GME, guys, also had a great day. Yes, this could be a good continuation play. We do have some levels on this already. So we have 540 up here. We do have 584. You can see how those days have been reacting with the daily chart. Towards the bottom, though, we do have a new level here that we should be marking down, 519, right? So we have a nice gap here at 519. It looks like we're trying to get above this 5. If we can do that at 519, is going to be a great area. Towards the bottoms, we do have a nice pop we had yesterday, but if we come back down, you have your area that has been a huge resistance for this stock until it broke out of it yesterday. You can see it right on there, which is marked by your low and your high of the last 2 trading days. So that's GME. Again, not a lot going on right now. This could be one that I'm probably going to keep on my watch list, on my secondary list, and just look for it to break out on the scanners. All right, so Roku's here had a nice red day yesterday. Let's remove some of these levels. So the levels we have now towards the top, the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days are very clean here. Look how they're well spaced out, so that's good. That's all you need for it towards the top. Towards the bottom, let's mark down the low of the pre-market right now, sitting at 57.28. It looks like we tested it at least 4 times in this 5-minute chart here, so we'll see if we can get a bounce out of that. We're sitting right at a moving average on the 5. The price is right on it. If we can lose that, you have a nice clean level heading down towards 150. Again, I don't think it'll drop more than that, but if it does, there's another level here on this daily that was prior resistance at 141.59. So we'll see what we can get out of Roku this morning. Again, we'll see if we can get a bounce out of this 157, which we tested for the last 20 minutes at least and have not been able to break. So Apple has their event happening today. Let's remove some of these levels, get some fresh ones. Towards the top, you have your previous day close high from yesterday, and you also have your low from, high from 2 days ago, right above the previous day close. And then towards the bottom, you got your high and lows from the last 2 trading days, which also is the pre-market low, basically from two trading days ago. If we head towards the bottom, this daily chart has been, oh man, this daily chart is brutal. This is why when we have a bad daily chart, guys, it's so difficult to find levels, because here, where do you want to place your levels? I mean, this thing is really all over the place. So I am gonna go with 210. I think 210 is worth marking down. You do have 1 day at least on there. And then, oh, this is good. This one's good here. 207. Again, I don't think Apple is going to drop down to 207. But 207 is clearly a level because you have several days bouncing off that 207.19. So that's something you want to have marked down. Then you have some moving averages in between here as well. Towards the top, if we can get going above the high of yesterday, we do have this one here, 217.86. And this beautiful pop all the way up here at 221. Again, you know how Apple can get with the hype. So if this thing goes well and investors like this thing can really soar. So let's be on the lookout for that. CTRP, CTRP, what do we have here? So again, it's got some volume going now. It is down 4%. Definitely a possible this morning. So we have a low of the pre-market at 32.50. We have another level down here around 31.15. That's a good one also. Then towards the top, guys, you have plenty. You got the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days right here. So these are the 2 last trading days. You can see the previous day close has been strong resistance at 35. Your high of the pre-market right now very close to the low of yesterday, so I'm not going to mark that down. If we can, we're kind of stuck in the middle between this range here, so if we can get out of one way or the other, we can trade very nice. So but I think as far as levels, since we've been just winding around this range here, you have plenty of levels towards the top and bottom. Don't really need to add any more to make this a little more complicated than what it is. TWLO, this has a beautiful drop yesterday. Again, lost this massive support that it had here, this 125. Look at this here. Every time it came there, it's just buy, looks like, right? So, or cover, whatever the case may be. So, yeah, so this is good on the daily. Again, it's starting to get some activity here as well. Volume was very low, but it's starting to get going, I think. So let's mark some levels towards the bottom. See, what do we have here? Let's go into this area right here. So we had a big drop yesterday. So clearly a nice level here, 103.70. Another nice area right here as well. I do like when the daily, you can see several days. That's too big. You can see several days just bouncing off 2 levels, creating this nice range at 103.70, 98. 92, and then one more towards the bottom here at 93.89. You can see the levels of support and resistance there. So very, very different compared to Apple, right? Apple has a very nasty daily the last couple of days, so it's very difficult to find these clean levels. Opposed to this one, you can clearly see where you have the bounces of support and resistance, making it easier to find these levels really quick. So one more here at 117. 33. You can see here resistance, although it breaks out a little bit, resistance comes back down. You have support and more resistance as well on that 117.33. So plenty of levels for TWLO this morning. Again, big day yesterday. We'll see what kind of continuation we get today out of it. And volume is slowly creeping up. It was at 30, I think, last time we looked at it, and then 36, and now 41. So slowly we're starting to get going here. Fran is the low flow of the day. This one is really active, guys. 2.3 million shares traded. We got a nice pullback here. Some heavy resistance at around 10.07, which is your high of your pre-market. Let's find some levels for this around this area. It looks like we have looked at this in the past. We do have some levels towards the bottom that still look very, very good. 708, 647, 555, and then in here you got the previous day close. You got the 5. You got several levels in this area. But if you look at the levels we have already, you can see how those are still pretty good. You want to keep these in your chart. The reason for that is because you don't have no other history up here besides the time when we put these levels, right? So when we put these levels, we had this information here. There's no recent information in this area, so you will not replace these levels with recent information on here. If there was anything around, oops, let's take that back. What was that? That was 7. Has to be right here. That's what the level is, 641, right? Yeah, that's where it is. So if you had recent information here, then you will replace this with whatever recent levels you have here. Delete this and then keep the most recent one. So then towards the top, guys, at 10.06, you can, again, these levels are in area. You can see here how you have some resistance there as well. You can also see if you go into this range here, you see that 10.06 playing out. Clearly, this is an area as well. This 11.64. I'm trying to find anything else that looks very clean, but I think that will be all for this one here. Again, having some good resistance at 10.06 now. So we'll see what we can get out of it. Again, this is a very low flow stock, so be very, very careful. Actually, we do need something for the bottom here, the bottom of the price, where the price is at now. All right, very nice here. Here we have a 882. You can see the support right on there. Then that support becomes resistance, so mark that down. And then another clean one. This is actually a very good one, 787. You can see also how that becomes support. After it loses this 882, that becomes support as well. All right, so that is what we have, guys. Let's go over this again. Let's make this list a little smaller. So let's start with ACAD. Again, not much going on right now. Volume is really low. WEN I like, so I'm going to keep this one for sure. It's got good volume. It's got good pre-market activity. It's down quite a bit. We got some clean levels of the daily. That's fine. F, I think I want to keep as well. MNK, I think this one, I'm on the fence. GME, I'm going to remove GME for today. So I'll remove this one here. Roku, I'm going to keep. This one's back to testing that low of the pre-market, so that's good. Apple will be fun to watch because they got the event going on today, so we'll see. And again, Apple with the hype, Apple could come out with a brick and put the Apple logo on it, and their customers will buy it. That's how loyal they are. So let's see how that turns out. CTRP, CTRP. It's gonna be a tough day deciding what to watch. CTRP. I'm on the fence on that one. TWO, I do like. Nice drop here, so we can see what continuation we get out of this. But I do got to make this list small. I can watch all this. So let's get rid of, you know what? I'm not going to get rid of it. I'm just going to put it on my secondary list, CTRP, because it could be a good possible if it hits our scanners with some volume. But I just can only watch 6 based on my watch list. Roku, I was breaking that low right there, so that's good. MNK, you know what? I'll remove MNK. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll throw it down here. I'll remove MNK for now. It is a low price stock. It's not a low float, but it is a lower price stock. Friend, guys, I'm not really going to watch. It's very active. But again, I stay away from these low floats. Anything on the 20 million, 25 million shares flow, I just try to really stay away from that stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, that's what it is right there. And then we'll look at what other people are watching as well. We're getting close to 9:15. So for example, if you're on YouTube and not in our chat room, Kurt sent his watch list. So he's watching Wendy's, he's watching TSN, he's watching NTNX and Docu, and then he puts his notes on there and what he's looking for. Eamon's put his watch list up. He's watching Roku, and secondary he's only watching ACAD and Docu. So it just kind of tells you he has his eyes on the scanners, not really going to be watching a lot because there's not a lot that looks all that great as of right now. Peter is watching F, Roku, WEN, Apple, CTRP as secondary, HDS, and GME. Those last two as secondary as well. Norm, what are you watching? What did you come up with your final or somewhat semi-final list?
Yeah, I mean, it's not the greatest watch list in the world, but I've got my eye on ACAD, WIN, F, MNK, C-Trip, and Apple and Roku specifically on my normal 4.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's funny. I just saw somebody put iBrick. Yeah, that's great.
I love it.
All right, guys. So that is what we have. Again, eyes on scanners. So turbo breakup, turbo breakdown. Hopefully we can catch some sleepers out of that. So we'll be looking at that. But I think this list, and again, no bias, right? Just be patient. That's the only thing you can have, because sometimes we have this list where things look a little wacky and not great, and it can shock us, right? Things can actually trade very, very well. So no bias. All you need to have is just patience and wait for that nice setup. It might take us 15, 30 minutes to get our first trade in, but you know, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Guys on YouTube, thank you for joining us. Take care. Have a great trading day. Trade safe, and we'll see you guys tomorrow again at 8:30 Eastern time. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button. That's how me and Norm get paid. Not really, but hopefully that can motivate you to do that. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care, guys.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Trade safe. Be smart. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to know when we go live. Have a good day.